team. We are going to talk about personal and team process models in this session. So team, we have learnt many types of models which were focusing on the process to be followed by team members. But what is special about these models is that they are focusing more on people who are going to do the work. That is why it is called as the best software process. If a software process model has been developed at a corporate or organizational level, it can be effective only if it is amenable to significant adaptation to meet the needs of the project team that is actually doing software engineering work. So, as you can understand, the focus is on the team's adaptation. So, for one team, the process would be different. For other team, the process would be different. I am not telling about the entirely different process. It might be the way of doing the work may be different for each team. So in an ideal setting, you would create a process that best fits your needs and at the same time meets the broader needs of the team and the organization. So team should not forget that ultimately when they achieve something, it is giving benefit to the organization also. So they have to meet their team goals as well as the needs of the organization too. So team itself is going to create here its own process, and at the same time it is going to meet the narrower needs of individuals as well as the broader needs of the organization. So it is possible to create a personal team software process or a team software process. You have to remember both of these types of models required hard work, training and coordination, but both are achievable. So we are going to see them one by one. The first is personal software process invented by Watts. He suggests that in order to change an ineffective personal process, an individual must move through 4 phases, each requiring training and careful instrumentation. The personal software process, that is PSP, emphasizes personal measurement of both the work product that is produced and the resultant quality of the product. So I have to set goals on preparing some documents, for example, and also at the same time I have to ensure the quality of that documents which I have created. So the personal team process has got 5 framework activities. You must be remembering the 5 framework activities which we had seen in the earlier models. It was beginning with communication. So here we are beginning with planning. This activity isolates requirements and develops both size and resource estimates. So in earlier cases also planning was meant to have estimation. Now here what we are going to estimate, size of the work product and resources which are required, that will be estimated. In addition, a defect estimate is made. So this is different here, a defect estimate. So I am going to identify the number of errors which may come in the software product I am going to build. So that much careful work is required here. So all metrics are recorded on worksheets or templates. Finally, development tasks are identified and a project schedule is created. So it is identified that this is all what we need to do, and accordingly the schedule is prepared. The second phase is high level design. External specifications for each component to be constructed are developed, external specification, and a component design is created. So I am preparing a design where I am showing components which are communicating and as well as the details of what each component is going to do. That is what is done. So here prototypes are built when uncertainty exists. So when the team is not sure about how it might look like, at that time prototypes are built to get the idea. So prototypes are not the actual softwares. It is say for example a model which is created. All issues are recorded and tracked. So here important thing is issues are recorded and tracked. Then we have next phase as high level design review. So here formal verification methods are applied to uncover errors in the design. So metrics are maintained for important tasks and work results. So you know what is verification. So here verification is the process by which we are reading the document. So whatever design we have created, for that verification methods are applied so that we can find out problems in the design before it gets transported to the implementation phase. And this is what is important. We are maintaining the matrix about the important task and the work results created for it. Then the phase is development. The component level design is refined and reviewed. For that, code is generated, reviewed, compiled and tested. So even if in development the test phase is not separately mentioned, we have to actually test it. And again, metrics are maintained for important tasks and work result. Now at the end is post-mortem. So after effects. Using the measures and metrics collected, the effectiveness of the process is determined. Measures and metrics provide guidance for modifying the process to improve its effectiveness. So after the work is completed, whether it was successful or not, what problems were identified, what best practices were identified, that analysis is done by the team itself, and those results are again matriculated, and if it is lagging somewhere, we can have guidelines to modify it. If it is done in the best way, that we can incorporate in the next project. So this is how the 5 phases are there. Now as you have must observed that PSP is emphasizing the need to record and analyze the types of errors you make so that you can develop strategies to eliminate them. Because we are preparing the matrix, we are maintaining it. What went wrong and what went correct, that we are recording. PSP represents a disciplined metric based approach. Disciplined and metric based approach if it is properly applied, and result is improvement in software engineering productivity as well as quality of the software. PSP is intellectually challenging and demands level of commitment from practitioners and their managers. So intellectually challenging is, along with the work I am doing, I have to always analyze what I am doing, how I am doing, and is it going right. So that extra task can be there for the team. Even if PSP is not adopted in its entirely, many of the personal process improvement concepts that it introduces are well worth learning. The important thing which I would like to tell you here is, unlike other models, we cannot start with the application of PSP processes as it is. It is mandatory for the team to get the training for this particular model, and once they are thorough with the training, then only they can be able to apply this process model to their software projects. The next set of model in the line is team software process. Now earlier model was about personal level, so it was focusing on entities, and now here we are talking about team. So because many industry grade software projects are addressed by a team of practitioners, a team software process is proposed. The goal of TSP is to build a self-directed project team that organizes itself to produce high quality software. If you remember, and if you have attended the session delivered by Dr. Alok Lele during the month of July, at that time he was discussing about the agile process. If you remember it, there also he had talked about the teams who are highly motivated, are organized and directed by themselves. So you know, there is no boss who is keeping an eye over the team. The team itself decides how they are going to measure the progress which they are going through. So to form a self-directed team, you must collaborate well internally and communicate well externally. Can you see that? So coordination between team is important and their communication is effective. Now the objectives of TSP are: build self-directed teams that plan, track their work, establish goals, own their processes and plans. So For everything happens, the team itself is responsible. These can be pure software teams or integrated product teams based on the choices, and the size is 3 to 20 engineers in a team. So if the project is very large, having hundreds of engineers, then we are going to create 5 teams, for example. It shows managers how to coach and motivate their teams and how to help them sustain peak performance. Then next is accelerate software process improvement. Provide improvement guidance to high maturity organizations. Facilitate university teaching of industrial grade team skills. So these are the objectives of the team software process. And the framework activities are project launch. So earlier when we were talking about personal team process, it started with planning. So here the name is project launch. So I'm starting it. I have to estimate what is required, when I'm going to do that, who will work, what will be the work, everything will be done here. Then high level design. So components, their interactions, and the details of components is what is done here. Then there is implementation. So by default, the components which you have decided to implement, for there you are going to write the code. And here you can see integration and test is a different phase here. So integration is, I have had prepared 2 components. Now I have to decide a mechanism where they can communicate with each other, and then I am going to test it. And postmortem is meant to analyze how I did, what went right, what went wrong. So these are the framework activities which are there in TSP. So what we have to remember here is TSP makes use of wide variety of scripts, forms and standards that serve to guide the team members in their work. So the team has to follow number of ways by which they can improve their work. TSP recognizes that the best software teams are self-directed. Team members set project objectives, adapt the process to meet their needs, control the project schedule, work continually to improve the team's approach to software engineering. So, it requires a highly motivated team members to continually work in the direction which will improve the quality. So like PSP, TSP is also a rigorous approach to software engineering which provides distinct and quantifiable benefits in productivity and quality. So the team must make full commitment to process and must undergo through training to ensure that the approach is properly applied. So as I have told already in personal team model also, the team has to undergo a rigorous training so that they can apply it. Even though these process models have shown continuous improvement in the quality of the software built, many of the organizations are not following it. The reason is the training may be costly, and the team requires to take this challenge and to meet the customer's needs. So it is up to the team, it is up to the practitioners, it is up to the managers to follow it, even if the training required is rigorous. So a very small question, can you identify which of these models these both are? So you have a look and answer me in the text box given. See you in the next session. Thank you.